well. Um, got it. Okay, awesome. Hope you're well. My name is Mark Orina. I'll be your host for today. We have two really cool guests that we're going to be talking to today. It's just about their path to in AWS and their career in AWS as such, and how do you take AWS as a career path. So before we start, I think a bit of house cleaning. If you have any questions, you can definitely drop them on the chat, or you can raise your hand and I'll definitely give you a chance to be able to ask it as such. And yeah, also I think join our AWS meetup group and also on LinkedIn. I think we'll drop them on the chat to be able to be part of it. And yeah, so welcome. So before we start, I think it's proper we start with an introduction, right? So I'll ask Ro to be able to start. Just give us, introduce yourself. Though your reputation kind of precedes you with what you've written, but introduce yourself, who you are, and also maybe one fun thing about you as you go
on. Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark. My name is Rosius Ndimofor, and I'm a senior serverless developer at a company called Serverless Guru. I'm also an AWS Serverless Hero, and I love to write. I blog a lot, and I love to what else? I just like creating sample applications and teaching others how to do them too. So one fun thing about me, there's really nothing. It's just I laugh a lot. Sometimes people find it difficult finding me serious. I'm never serious, but I don't know. That's just me. So I'm really happy to be here, and I hope we have fun. And we go home with something that we've learned from each other. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And also maybe you can say which country are you from? Also, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm a Cameroonian, and I'm presently in Douala, Cameroon.
Douala, yes. Cameroon. All right, yes. Great. Pleasure meeting you. I think Che, you can go next, or you can introduce yourself, then can go on.
Okay, thanks you guys once more for inviting me. I am Che. I'm a network engineer, and I've been in the cloud space for over 2 to 3 years, and I mostly work in the cloud space like a freelancer. So, I'm a Cameroonian, and I also live in Cameroon. I currently live in the capital city, Yaoundé. And one fun fact about me is that my names are very short, and like in almost everywhere I go, I've almost been caught to do something because my names are so short, kind of thing. Everybody quickly remembers that. I suffer that a lot with my teachers. So, yeah.
Yeah, wow, great. I think you said, I think your name is short, and does that mean then it's Chiche, that's it?
Yeah, that's my Chi is my first name. That's the first name is Chi, the last name is Che. Che is my family name. So yeah, like just 6 letters.
that's really cool. It actually sounds like someone who would be playing like football, like the jersey Chiche scores probably top scorer. That would be it.
Well, maybe that's another career I can think of.
Yeah, you definitely do that. Great. So maybe to start with you, Ro, so how was your path towards AWS? I know you started, I think, with Java programming at some point. How is that like moving from Java programming to get into cloud and actually becoming like an AWS hero and also serverless guru?
Yeah, actually, I back in 2008, I started learning C programming, and then after C, I went to C++, and then the normal path was from C++ to Java. So I found my home in Java, but it took me about 4 years to start developing applications, Java applications. So I started writing Java applications, especially Android applications. So from about 2012 till about 2018, I was developing Android applications. I was working as a freelancer. But the thing is that when a client comes to you, right, the most of the time, the kind of projects that they want it's a project that is both front end and back end. So I found myself now having to learn back end technologies like PHP and MySQL, how to create APIs. Because I had this client who once came, he said, okay, his wife had this cosmetic shop, and then she wanted all of her products on an application where people could just order from the application. So the first thing now is that he has a CSV file of all the products, the categories, the prices, and everything. So that now I have to get that into the database, and then now create an API that will read the items from the database and display it on the application, and then place so that we can place an order, and then it keeps track of the orders. You can create an account and stuff like that. So now I'm dealing with both front end and back end. So back then now, what you normally do is that you get down and you create your API, and then you rent out the server, and then you host your API on the server, and then what you now do is that you've added another responsibility, because you have to manage that server. You have to monitor that server. You have to put up updates on the server. You have to make sure that the server doesn't crash during high peak times and stuff like that. So it's really tedious, especially when there's an issue on both the front end and the back end, and you're just a solo developer. So, but I mean, I was juggling that. I was trying my best to hold that. But at around 2020, at the end of 2020, a friend of mine, he's actually a co-leader of our user group from Quincy. He spoke to me about a certain technology called Lambda. It's surprising because I feel like I was living under a rock. That up to November 2020, I did not know about Lambda. I don't know about AWS Lambda. Like, what's AWS Lambda? So when he told me about AWS Lambda, I was like, well, I'll just look at it. I'll just look at it and see what it can do for me. So I went online, and tutorials were really not that. There were really scarce online back then. And so when I got online now, I saw one tutorial which showed me how to create a REST API with Lambda and DynamoDB. So I mean, it was so quick and so fast that when I thought about the pain that I went through creating an API for my clients and stuff like that, and then I see how AWS Lambda makes that easy, I just got stuck. I just got hooked. I was sold to AWS Lambda. I was sold to serverless technology. So from then now, I quit freelancing for a while, because I just have one thing with me that I like to, when I get in contact with something, I like to first master it. Especially if I see that, okay, this is the path I want to take. I want to take some time. I want to spend some time and master it before I move on. So what I did from November, from 2021, I started blogging. No, I started writing test sets, right? Just to get in, just to be versed with the technologies, because there's so many about it, and put it online on March 31st, 2021. So when I did that now, I started blogging every day consistently. Yeah, so I was blogging every single day consistently for about 2 months straight. And then that's when I got a job, and then I got recognized, I think, because I blogged so much that a senior AWS developer advocate, she actually had to tell me to slow down a little bit. So I let her catch up with the way she had to post it also on her own blog, because I just kept on pushing that. And I think that was one of the reasons why I got the serverless thing, the AWS serverless hero thing really fast, and then also moved up, because getting to the company, you have to get from junior, but I just got in as senior. But I spent just a couple of months in serverless. So it was just that speed and that consistency that made me walk up the ladders a lot quicker than a lot of other people. So since then, I've never put the baton down. I've just been going at it, just been blogging. I blog a lot. I blog about real life stuff, right? I create real life applications, and then I create a blog series around it, and then I put it online for anybody to know. Because those are things that you could not find before, but now it's there. I have it on my blog, so you can just get there and then you jumpstart your own career. So and just move. So that's just it. That's my journey from Java to AWS serverless technology. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. That's really inspiring, actually. The fact that you actually consistently blogged it's a discipline, actually, and being able to break down something so that someone else can understand means that you've actually understood very well. I'll actually get back to that. Chiche, I think you being a network engineer, being also an AWS community builder, how's your journey like to where you are right now?
Okay, well, like I always said, my journey is a really funny one, and it's quite surprising to me too. So I got introduced into cloud like back in 2019. That's when I was doing my final year bachelor's project, and that was cyber threat research. So I really wanted a means where I could prove to my professors that it's like this hacking thing is really true, and people are really trying to get people's data. And if you get online today with a vulnerable system, you definitely receive a hack. So doing that, I really, if you understand the basics of networking, to do that, I needed a public IP address, I needed a server, I needed a lot of things. So, but my school is not the kind of school that they give you finance for projects. So I had to look for a means. So I went back to my professor. My professor told me, well, I've told you ever since that just do a little project maybe around computers in school. But I said, no, I really need to do something that I will be happy about. So that made me now, I got home, I was just researching on the internet how to get free servers and start a project for free, or some kind of strings. And I got to read an article. Actually, someone did something similar to what I did, but the person used GCP. So I decided to sign up for GCP, but GCP was not accepting my credit card. So I had a prepaid credit card, and GCP was not accepting my credit card. So I typed GCP alternatives, and AWS Azure came up, and I signed up for both. I actually signed up for both. The project ran very well on AWS, and same as it ran very well on Azure. So I was able to do that. I used Kibana to present all the dashboards, everything within 4 hours of launching that server. Actually, I had so much traffic because I made everything free ports. Everything was open. Like I created actually a honeypot server on the internet, so everything was just open, and everyone could get access to it. So in about 4 hours, I was able to receive like every data of people that have been trying to get access to that particular server. So that's what I then presented to my professors. So after that, I kind of like, I never really thought of, well, you did something in the cloud, you could continue with that. I never really thought of that. It was 2020, I think a year later, that a friend sent me a link to that there's a cloud community starting up somewhere, and I should join that community. And I just signed up because once you send me a link and I just read about it, it's interesting, I always sign up and find out what is really there before I can sign up. So I just signed up, and the community was actually great, and they were teaching us cloud practitioner. So once they were teaching us cloud practitioner, I was of the thought that I really don't want to do a certification without being sure if I'm going to get a job with this certification. So that's what pushed me into signing up for a freelance platform. So I really wanted to see how I can get something doing with what I'm learning, because before then,
Did you lose him? Yeah, I think we lost him.
Network.
Yes, seems like it. Okay. I think as we wait for him to actually come, and he actually brought in a very good segue that I was actually going to go to. You mentioned someone mentioned Lambda to you, right? To be able to kind of get to that. And also I just noticed both of you being from Cameroon and the user group is very active, right? You guys have had like physical meetups and done a lot of things towards it. So would you kind of speak to community and how community kind of was very important for you and your growth, especially from being from a Java developer to actually a senior role?
I kind of missed your question. Can I please just,
okay, sorry. So it's a good segue what you had mentioned about community. So how did community kind of play a role in terms of you moving from the junior role to actually becoming a senior and also just learning about Lambda and all those things? Yeah.
Nice. Okay, one thing you have to understand about the community is that it's actually a way for you to really learn stuff faster, because in the community, there's just no way that you can face a problem and then you don't find the answer to that problem if somebody else had already faced it. Because people have faced similar issues before and they have actually put out content on that. So when you come across that problem, you can easily fast track your way across that by learning from what the others have already done. Like just let's say if you want to see far, so standing on the shoulders of giants, you enable you to see far, right? Like it gives you that head start. So, and one thing also with that the community really helped me to do was, I'm a very shy person and I don't like talking in public. I don't even like talking. I'm just in my room like that, and I don't really keep a lot of company. But with the community now, we always had meetups, and those meetups actually pushed us to like present stuff. You have to you're not only willing to write down what you did, but you have to talk about it. Talking about it to a group of people, it's a little bit challenging for somebody who isn't used to talking to the public and stuff like that. So it kind of pushed me to get out of my comfort zone, and stand in front of a crowd and present my ideas in an articulate manner for the understanding of the audience. So the community is really important, first in the fact that it helps you learn faster and quicker. It's always good when you're learning with others. When you're here cracking stuff and they're there cracking stuff, and then after you guys interchange ideas, you learn from them, they learn from you, and they move a lot faster. If you're learning on your own, you have to learn. You have to do what you're doing, learn it, and then you learn from their own experience, and it's really difficult. But when they're learning and you're learning, you guys interchange ideas, you move a lot quicker. And sharing is, at the end of the day, sharing is just fun. It's caring actually. It's fun. So
yeah,
thank you.
As we wait for Chiche, also I think I remember also when I started on AWS a bit, I started on infrastructure as code, and I had one bug that I think at some point I gave up for about a month or two. Then I came back to it. I was just on a personal project. Then at the end, someone actually on the AWS user group is the one who helped me. They said, hey, this is what you need to change, right? And it actually worked. And I realized, okay, working alone is not like, especially on those times when you're not feeling it as such. You actually doing community is very important as such. And I've actually noticed, like, if you guys, both of you guys are here, it means Cameroon is really huge on community and actually learning together. And you said sharing is caring. Hello, Chiche, are you back? Are you good now?
I'm good. My Wi-Fi box restarted. Sorry about that.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I think we had I think you had left from when you're joining a freelance space, right? A freelance platform, and also in terms of, I think, certification, something towards that. I think you can continue from there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I guess when I started learning AWS in the community, I really needed a means to prove myself that this is something worth investing my time on. So I had to sign up for a freelance platform, and I chose Upwork. So I did sign up for Upwork, and being there, it took me about a month to get my first gig. And it was really some basic stuff. The client actually just wanted a server in the cloud, and it was really that basic. So after doing that project, and the client gave me a 5-star review, things kind of picked up from there. So from then I knew like cloud computing is something that's really huge, and there are a lot of opportunities out there, and I need to invest more time on it. So that is how I got into the whole AWS thing, and I started studying a lot, learning new things, doing projects, helping out with community work. And later on, someone advised me also to sign up for the Cloud Builders program, which I did, and I got accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we're actually talking about community. So how critical did community help you as such, and in terms of your growth, especially in terms of the projects you did, maybe presentations, blogs, and stuff like that? Yeah.
Well, I would say community has a very huge role to play in my cloud career. And if not of the community, I don't think I'll be where I am today, because one thing I really enjoy about community, especially learning with the community, Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, okay. I was saying one thing I really enjoy about learning in the community is the accountability part. Because once you have people that look up to you, when you're learning in the community, you have to give back to that community. You definitely have to present something someday. You definitely have to do something someday. So that accountability, that I don't want to let people down, and people are looking up to me, it's really encouraging to be done in the community. And the network in the community too. Somebody might see something out there that immediately the person think, oh, yeah, teacher can do this, or Rosius can do this, or Mark can do this. So that community, that network that you build in the community, it's very, very important. And one other thing you get when you get into the community, you get to meet a lot of experiences. The high experienced people, the middle experienced people, and those that are just starting out. And when you get to learn from those that already experienced, and they'll tell you definitely, they'll share with you the mistakes that they did make. So you are not bound to make those mistakes. Those are some of the things I really enjoy about community, and that's why I get into community a lot too.
Yeah, well, thank you. Just to also expand this conversation a bit, I think both of you have mentioned that you guys have actually done a few projects on cloud. So let's say if you're a beginner, or why would you maybe direct someone? What project should they start with, especially when they're setting out on cloud? Maybe hands-on projects that you did yourself. I think Roy did the Python one and also other Java applications. So maybe what was your first project, and which projects would you advise people to actually start with? We can start with Ro, then we can go to Che.
Thanks, Mark. So yeah, I approached this question from what standpoint? From the serverless, from the AWS services standpoint, yeah, because presently there are both 200 plus AWS services, right? And if I'm starting out as a beginner, I'll just tell you how my mindset, I'll try to reimagine my mindset back in November 2020, when I just heard about AWS services, and then I was getting my deep dive in. So the first thing is that the career path you want to take in the cloud, there's a lot there. You're a DevOps, I'm a serverless, there are others too. So the thing you have to look at now is, I'll take it from my own point of view, there's a serverless point of view. I wanted to build an API, so what AWS services do I need to build a basic API? Because fundamentals is key in every art. If you want to master anything, you start from the base. If the foundation is not solid, the building will fall. So fundamentals is key. So when I looked online, I realized that, oh, okay, there's Lambda, which is a serverless compute service, but now it works with other services in order to build create a basic API for you. So you needed something to store your data, definitely a database. So DynamoDB works perfectly well with Lambda. Okay, so that's nice. So what about now? Who now enables me create that API so that I can now use a Lambda to get my data from DynamoDB? Now I discovered there's something called API Gateway. It easily helps me to create my API, monitor the API, rate limit it, and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, nice. I can create a REST API with this now. So those three services really come in handy when I wanted to create a basic API. But now, what about if I want to step it up a notch, thinking about scalability and stuff like that. So a lot of other services into play. So now as a beginner, my approach should be first looking for the most basic example app or basic whatever in DevOps, in serverless, basic, because in serverless too, you can do the most basic serverless application, the most basic full stack serverless application. Start from the most basic application, know the fundamentals. And then based on that same application, you can keep stepping it up a notch. You add more services. There's always a service to add in to make your application more scalable. So it doesn't really matter what project you take. I think even if you want to build, let me say, an apartment, we all live in apartments, right? You want to build an apartment complex management system. You start from the basic API, the basic from the ground floor, right? You create a basic API, and then after that you start adding it. What if a lot of people are booking at the same time? How do I handle that? Okay, I bring in SQL so that messages are not lost. Okay, so what if I want to make this application decoupled? I want to actually create a microservice. How do I, like, all of those things now come into play, and then you see how the application has now left the basic form, and then you're transitioning also from a junior developer now to a senior. And they say, how can I add in DevOps into this? Now you now start thinking about automation, writing PHP, Python scripts, and then doing CI/CD, writing your unit and integration tests and stuff like that. Then as your application is growing bigger, that's just one application. As it's growing bigger, you're also transitioning from a junior developer to a mid-level senior developer. Your mindset is changing. How can I make it a lot better? How can I do this? How can I do that? If you are done with that application, okay, you keep it aside. Now we have restaurants all around us. How can I connect all of these restaurants so that somebody can order from their mobile phone? We have shops all around us, malls all around us. How can I create an application where somebody can just sit at home and order for groundnut oil, tomatoes, and whatever? It just comes. They deliver it straight to his doorstep. Stuff like that. That a ton of, when I think about like a ton of ideas. There's so many ideas because in Cameroon, there's still a lot. Technology hasn't really sunk deep into our system. So there's still a lot of room for improvement. There's still a lot of ways where you can shine, where you can build something and persevere with it and shine. E-commerce still has a lot of opportunities here. I haven't created an e-commerce app myself, but I won't talk about it here since this is not about it. And I think there's just a lot. Start from a basic API if you're a serverless developer, and then you move on. If you're DevOps, no problem, right? The basic Python script, do more CI/CD, do more whatever they do with DevOps, because in a serverless, DevOps kind of disappears in it because a serverless developer is required to write their Python scripts, so to GitHub actions, and then deploy the applications, write their CI/CD, configure the pipelines, automate it themselves. So DevOps kind of disappears into that. But I don't know. Based on your experience, I think that you will know the type of applications that a basic DevOps engineer can attack. Even if you don't know, I think there's Google, and Google knows everything. You know, just a simple Google search will show you something that you can build from the basic. If you don't want to look around you, but in Africa, and there's still a ton of things to fix. Just looking around is enough to get a ton of ideas to start with. Start at the base. You can take one application, start at the base level, and then you grow it. So yeah, I think that was my approach. I think that's still my approach to now, because I'm not even up to 2 years into serverless, but so there's still a ton to learn. And even after 10 years, there will still be a ton to learn. So thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I think that was really good. Che, you can go. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, Ro kind of said a lot, and yeah, all what he said is very correct, and I really hope we all could implement it. One thing I just want to say is I think most of us really know what we need to do in order to be successful. But the thing is, we don't really do that thing. And I know everybody knows that they need to work on projects, like everybody knows. But we don't do that. We don't do that. I don't know. At times, I usually ask myself, like, what is wrong with us? If they tell me my dog is sick, I can be able to feed that dog or to take him to the veterinarian all the time. But if I myself am sick, I feel reluctant to go to the hospital at times. Right? So I just think maybe it's one of our default that we're built with, but we have to verify that. So we all know we have to work on projects. Just look for a project that you can be able to complete. It must not be complex. Like, it must not be complex. Even if it's deploying an EC2 instance in the cloud and logging into that EC2 instance through SSH, do it. Look for another method which you can use to log into your instance, do it. Configure your AWS command line, do it. Just basic things, just do them and make sure that they work and you're able to explain the process that you did to achieve that. That is what makes you stand out from somebody that did not do a project. Once you're able to explain what you did to achieve what you achieved, that is the difference. So I also want to say, like, okay, cloud space is very big. And when you're coming to the cloud space, you like someone from me, for me, I was coming in with a lot of networking experience. So I could not just let my networking experience die down and say, no, I need to learn programming so I can be in the cloud, because at times that's the thought people have. Like, you need a whole lot of programming to be in the cloud. No, you can leverage on what you already have. Like, if you are a network engineer, you are coming to the cloud, go for this cloud networking, which is very difficult. I assure you that it's very difficult. Doing BGP in the cloud is something else. Like, when we were learning BGP, it was abstract for us because it was only done by ISPs. But now you are the ISP yourself, so you have to configure the BGP. So if you are coming, like, you're a network engineer, focus on that part and build up your expertise around networking services like Rosius based. There are a ton of networking services in AWS. Build up your experience around that. If you are coming from the system administration background, go and focus on that and build up your experiences. You can then pick up a programming language and be learning along, like, because I will not advise anyone to ignore the programming though. So you can pick up the programming language and learning along while you're scaling up you're scaling up in the cloud, not necessarily for while you're leveraging on your skills in the cloud. So that's one other thing that I would like to add. And another way I always think of, there are challenges, a lot of challenges that these cloud providers usually do. And there's also one that is that really have really stand out in the community, and I think that is a cloud resume challenge, where you kind of start from the basic, you go right up to creating pipelines, you do pipelines. I think you also do some kind of serverless there. And as well as they have now extended, like they now have a more traditional path, which it's about creating DPCs, doing this, like implementing the whole stack yourself. So such kind of projects too are very great. Then for guys who are like more of developers, what I would say is we have GitHub. Like GitHub is a whole resource, like a lot is on GitHub. So, and people now are mostly focused on serverless. They are mostly focused on microservices. They are mostly focused on decoupling their monolithic application. So go there, go on GitHub, download a project that is free, deploy it first on the cloud. You can do that. It's not, if it's difficult for you to do that, go to the community and invite experts to work with you. They will definitely help you. So deploy that application in the cloud, document your process. You come back, decouple the application, document your process. Put it in containers, document your process. So you can just, like Rosius said, just take one application and you can build on it. Yeah, those are some of the things I can add.
Yeah, thank you. I think there's a question in the chat by Tom's, I believe. So what about someone who has no IT background in IT and is venturing in the cloud? How do they decide which path to take? That is after taking the research program by AWS.
Let me say something on that before Rosius might come in. Well, if you're new to IT, I believe you have one thing to figure out, which is what you really want to do in IT. IT is big, like IT is big. Do you want to be a software developer? If that is yes, do your programming. Once you're done with your programming, see how you can leverage AWS to facilitate your work. If you're into operations, you want to learn more about IT operations, system administration, network administration, you can learn that and then you leverage that skills on the cloud too as well. And if you're maybe you want to go for maybe management or something like that, I don't really know the path you take, but definitely there is a way you can figure that out too. But people always tell me that it's like you don't know what you want to do. Well, I would say look for a general IT course, and there's this one I always recommend. I think it's the Google Cloud IT Support Specialist. There they will teach you about operations. They'll teach you a little bit of scripting, which is programming. They'll teach you about a little bit of cloud, and they'll introduce you to cybersecurity as well. So they just like introduce you to all the parts. But the most important thing is for you to like figure out what you really want to do. And once you figure that out, then you can always quickly grow.
Oh, thank you. Ro, do you also want to add on to that?
Yeah. I think Chicha has really said everything. Maybe mine is just the icing on the cake. Like I said before, I've said earlier, your foundation really matters. When I talk about foundation, I don't mean by a background in IT. No, I mean like when you want to start, the first thing that you do really matters. You have to, like Chicha said, you have to just, IT is broad. Which path do you want to take? You want to take programming? Okay. Now if you want to get into the cloud as a serverless developer, then programming was your foundation. So at least you have to get comfortable with programming. There are a lot of programming languages that you can choose from: Python, JavaScript, this thing, Go, Rust, Ruby on Rails, anyone. So you pick that and then you try to just get the fundamentals of that, and then you make your leap into the cloud. But your foundation matters a lot, and IT is broad. Take the path, choose your path, and then Google what foundational skills you need in order to chase this path to a mastery level. Because for me, it's all about mastering something. it's quite a process, but whatever I do should be gearing you, should be preparing towards the path of mastery. Your foundation should be really, really, really solid, so that whatever now you're putting, whatever house you're trying to build on it, that foundation will be able to hold the house, can sustain everything. So yeah, that's just it.
Yeah, great. I think something has kind of come up here, I think from both of you, Ron and Chiche, is documentation and blogging, right? So if you can be able to document, and personally, I have to confess, sometimes documenting is a struggle, because you just want to write code or you want to do this and you're done. So any tips or hacks? How do you guys actually do your documentation, maybe on a day-to-day or for the different projects that you do?
Yeah. The simple truth about it is that as for the documentation and blogging, I really don't want any tip or hack, because it's a painful process and it's boring, and it's humbling too. When I sit and look at the tutorials that AWS puts out, and I see how great it is, how detailed, the time it took for somebody to take a screenshot, put that screenshot inside maybe a photo software and highlight a certain point and click this button like that. Trust me, there's no hack to it. It's hard, it's painful, it's boring, but it's great, because there's one thing about teaching. When you try to teach somebody something, or when you teach somebody something once, you learn twice. And that's the simple truth about it. So if you want to really test your knowledge, you want to test your understanding about a certain subject area, try to blog about it. First, blogging, putting down your ideas in words, what you've done in words, it's very boring and it takes a lot of patience. And sometimes you need that patience because it disciplines you. Like I keep talking about mastery. You cannot be, if you want to crazy, it's like I had some swollen eyes and stuff like that, but I was okay with it and I was happy with it. It was a hill that I was willing to die on, because I was broke and I had bills to pay. I had a son who needed milk and stuff like that. So sleeping wasn't an option. I did not even like sleeping. Sleeping was boring. So blogging was more exciting at that period, and even till now. And it's just a certain level of discipline and consistency that I've tried to maintain, because I'm still on my way to mastery. And they say you cannot have $1 million mindset with you cannot accomplish $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. So stuff like that. And that's just it. So there's no hack, there's no shortcut. Do the work. Do the work. Don't take no shortcuts. Just look at what other people that you admire are doing, and you'll see that there's no use any shortcuts. These guys went down and they did, like they actually toiled for it. They toiled for it. So, you're no exception. If you want to go that way, you have to put in the work. That's it for me.
Gone, sorry.
Yeah, Rosius is actually the genius in this part. I'm that kind of person that blogging is not my thing, and well, I know it's really necessary. It's really, really necessary, but it has been really, really difficult for me to compose myself and sit down and put up a blog. That's why I don't do most of blogging. What I tried doing this year, and which it yielded me a lot, was hosting Twitter spaces. I was hosting a lot of Twitter spaces around cloud, and yeah, I got a really good feedback from the community, which I was really happy about. So blogging is one way of doing content. I think you can figure out the content strategy that is good for you. But the thing is, blogging is the one that lasts the most. That is the thing. I can't show you records of my Twitter spaces, but Rosius can show you records of his blogs. Like you can go there, and in years to come, he can just keep updating the blog and everything. Yeah. So, but you can always look for the best content strategy that works for you and start something. If I'm want to go more into what I'm doing, definitely I'll do something like a podcast or a YouTube channel, like something like that. That also lasts for a while. But I still advise if you are able to sit down and compose your blog, really do it. I've written like 1 or 2 blog posts, but I'm not really a genius in that side, and that's one of my weak side that I'm really trying to work on. And I hope definitely soon I will be able to put out a lot of content for everyone out there. But right now, that's not my strength. And well, just to say, if you're blogging, freelancing, it will be easier for you to get clients. That's a hack in freelancing. If you're blogging, it will be easier, and you gain that kind of clients that they'll keep coming back to you because they know who you are and the kind of things you do. So they will not necessarily go back to those freelance platforms to go and give their projects there. Once they see that now, this person is a trustworthy person, he's putting out content every week or so, definitely means he can be dedicated. And once people get into freelancing, they always tell me, man, I've been there for 2 months, no job. That's not enough. 2 months is still very small. There are people that have been there for more than 6 months and they still do not get any job. The most important thing is when you get the first job, and there are things that you can do, like, for example, the blogging, the projects that you're doing, just things that you do that is visible. Once you are sending out a proposal now on a freelance platform, you can check out this, you can check out some of my works here, you can check out some of the things I've done here. And the client now see that now this is somebody, because freelancing is honesty is good, freelancing. And once a client sees that you're honest and you are trustworthy, they can trust you with their project, then you are open to have more projects. That's why the reviews are so great. Once you have a review there, it's good. So all these things works. The project, the content that you create, it really helps. So yeah, why not just do it?
Great, thank you. I think also, if possible, you can also send your handles, your Twitter handles, or people where they can follow you. That would be really good. If you have any more Twitter spaces, I'm happy to actually also join them at some point. So I see we're nearly at the top of the hour. So 2 things. One, what opportunities have you seen? I think just kind of touched on this. What opportunities have you seen so far in your AWS career, and what other opportunities do you think people need to know about in terms of AWS, and what they can do, or how they can get them? And yeah, let's start with that. Then I think we'll do mistakes after. Any mistakes that you think people should kind of watch out for, but you can start with opportunities, then go to mistakes. Yeah. We can start with Ro, then I think she should go. You can start. Can you hear us? I think we lost him.
Well, at times our internet here it disturbs a lot.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think you can go fast. Like, what opportunities have you seen, and you tell people to kind of look out for in the person. Chicha,
I think we lost him. Okay, he's back.
He's back.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Sorry.
Yeah, so let me tell you guys, I mean, like, there's really nothing strange or there's like about concerning careers. Getting a job in cloud is really easy, but you know, I don't know, people keep on reaching out to me that they are a junior developer, they're in an underrepresented country and stuff like that. Failing to understand that I'm also in an underrepresented country, just like any of you. I thank God I'm not in the United States or Europe. I'm doing it from down here, so you should. There's no tricks. When I started blogging consistently, right? Even Hashnode reached out. I don't know if you know about Hashnode. That's why I blog on. They reached out and they wanted me to be an engineer on their team, which I turned down because I was on fire. I knew that the big opportunities were coming. That's a simple trick. That's just a simple trick. People want to see what you can do. Don't tell me that you're a junior developer. I don't want to know what type of developer you are. What projects have you done? What type of projects have you done? What can you do? I'm a junior DevOps engineer. I don't care. What DevOps projects have you done? I'm a junior serverless engineer. Okay, fine. I have this amount of certifications. I don't really care about certifications. It's great, but you have to attach it to a project. And blogging, there's just no way. Blogging puts you out there so much that you'll not even imagine. I don't want to show you my Twitter or LinkedIn DMs of AWS engineers even reaching out, and they really appreciate what I'm doing, the work I'm doing, just by putting out a blog post, just by giving up my Saturdays and Sundays, and sometimes the evenings. Like teachers said, all of us know exactly what to do. Let's not share about it. We're all adults. We know what to do, but we don't want to do it. It's painful. Like I'm telling you, 16 hours a day is painful. It's so painful. Like you feel like it's, but the rewards. I mean, when I blogged, even the job I got, I did not apply for the job. The CEO actually reached out to me. It's all about, flipping the script, changing it. Now, that a lot of people are dropping their resumes for a job. Okay, what if I do something that will make these employers reach out to me? That should be your mindset. When you're in a game like this, now let me talk about us being in an underrepresented area in Africa. Let me talk about that. Yeah, so now you're in Africa where opportunities are limited. So, am I still on?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, true.
Hello?
Yeah, you're a bit.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear you, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, now you're back. It was getting good.
Yeah, so yes.
You people have to support Cameroon a bit.
Well, actually,
sucks.
Yeah, like see the issues that we go through. So
internet sucks.
You have to play the game a lot differently. You have to play the game a lot differently now. It's hard. It's hard for all of us. None of us are having fun here. But just like, oh, it's hard, and then you just gotta lie on your bed and you're crying. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yep.
It doesn't work like that. Yeah. See, internet is messing up with me now. But I'm not gonna lie on my bed. I'll be like, oh, there's no internet. I'm a junior developer. It doesn't work like no. I'll stand strong, and I hit my 16 hours and even stretch out to 17 because I need that job. I need it. So change your mindset, play the game a lot differently. People are applying. Okay, do something in such a way that the employers will reach out to you. Take a project and go wild with it. Document it, share it, and ask people to read it. Beg people to read it. Tag people in it. Tag me in it, and I'd like to read a beautiful project from you, and I'll share it with the whole world. I like sharing good stuff. So I think that should be our mindset. Not trying to. No, you don't want pity. You're a junior developer. You're suffering. I'm suffering too. I see my cartel. Like my internet is messing up. I cannot even talk properly. Anyway, I'm sorry if I'm so harsh. But just blog and share your work, and you will get all the attention you need, period. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Chiche, you want to add something? Then I think we can extend this by 5 more minutes. Then I think we can close, right? So we'll just add 5. In 5 minutes.
I don't really have anything more to add. Rosius has said everything. We just need to put in the work. We just need to put in the work. Like, yeah, I know even if those that will like want to get into freelancing after this, you will see a lot of advice out there that you have to create a profile in Europe, America, or whatever. Yeah. If you have that kind of profile, you'll be open to more opportunities because the thing you are there. But the war is getting open. Like the war is open now. My profile is Cameroon, and I can sit for 6 months without writing a proposal on the freelance platform. I already have a plan that I'm working on regular basis with them. Each time I see a message from him, I know a $15 is tripping me. Like each time you see a message, you just start counting your hours and $20, $30. Just start counting your hours. So, and this most of these guys, like the one of the clients I had is actually working in Deloitte. Like Deloitte will never employ me from Cameroon, but they don't know I am the one kind of like helping out somehow too. So that's how freelancing is helping a lot of people. You can be in Kenya, and Kenya is very open though. Kenya is very open. And yeah, you can be in Kenya and you have a lot of gigs that it's earning you something that you don't need to stress about how much money you need to spend on the internet. You don't need to stress about a lot of things. And I always advise, even if you're in university, just try going out online and selling yourself. Like go to a freelance platform and just try to see the projects there, even if you're a graphic designer, whatever thing you can do, just go there and see. Like, for example, I can tell you now that if you are skilled in DevOps, go to a freelance platform and show your project that you can do. I assure you, in a month's time, you'll get a job. Like in a month's time, you get a client, because there are a ton of projects in the DevOps side. DevOps, I also see a lot of, the serverless thing popping up. A lot of people trying to decouple their applications like Docker, microservices, Kubernetes. I think that Kubernetes definitely must be really hard, because you see a lot of issues. Like I've been working on this and I have this, who can fix that? $40 an hour. So if you are skilled in any of those things, just go there. Or you're even learning. Once you're learning, that's the best part even. You know, once you're learning, you say, I have nothing to lose. Like, I'm still learning. I have an excuse. You have the biggest excuse, the best in the world. I'm a student. I'm still learning. So you can just go there, like create your profile. Once a project comes, and if you are not able to handle that, you just, I'm still learning. Yeah, let me try another one. So that's just it. You might just hit a project that you can really do, and you do it very well. And once a client reviews you, that's all you need in a freelance platform. Just the review that I'll always work with this man. He's really good. That's all. So let's just try to put in the work. We as Africans, we have a lot to do. So we should just try to put in the work and keep working.
Great. Thank you very much. I see we have one more minute. Any closing remarks, or is that it? There's something else. I like what you said, Ro, about you cannot have a billion dollar something with a middle wage mindset. I've forgotten what you said. Do you mind? I think that's a really good parting shot. If you can.
You know, you cannot accomplish $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. You know, it has to match. You know, if you want to be that billionaire, then I mean, you should be able to put in the work that will, would balance that. You know, you cannot be sleeping every day and then dreaming big. It doesn't work like that.
I agree. Thank you very much. Do you have any other thing, Chiche, to say maybe, or you're good?
Well, all I can just say is that let's put in the work. I'll be putting in the work. I'll do my best. Maybe I'll share my blog someday. I'll do my best to put in the work. So you guys also put in the work. Let's all put in the work. Let us all put in the work and see how we can grow together.
Great. Wow. I feel like we've just done a 20-minute talk, not really 1 hour. I love the passion. Yeah. I love the passion. I love the honesty and also just the willingness to share your journeys so far. Really love it. I think I should come for one of your user group meetings. Seems like it's
Absolutely.
a lot of fun. Definitely.
Well,
So,
actually, I think we have to change the paradox about user group somehow. User group in Kenya doesn't mean it's only Kenyans that should attend. I think we really need to change that. Yeah, like if because the idea behind it, a user group in Kenya just came, it's meant just for Kenyans, but I think it will benefit us all. So once people have a user group, share it with us, we'll share in our groups, and once we are having a user group, we'll definitely share with you guys. We all can benefit from each other.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I think that would be awesome. If possible, I think I'll let Adeline. I tend to have a really bad in pronouncing people's names generally. Mine is just so Adeline, I don't know if you have a vote of thanks. Then also, if possible, you can switch on your cameras so that we can take one photo. Then we can call it a day. Such. Adeline, are you here to give a vote of thanks?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ro and Chiche, for this. Actually, personally, I've learned a lot, and the benefit of freelancing and writing blogs. And also, as a user group Kenya, we are so happy and humbled to have you as our guest all the way from Cameroon. And my takeaways for today is that there are many opportunities out here. It's all about the projects and the determination and dedication towards AWS in the cloud space. And to all of us, I just want to wish you a good evening. I know it's lunchtime in Cameroon. You can invite us for lunch.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we can turn on our video. Mark will take a screenshot.
Yes, there you go. Okay, great. I guess any other person wants to join? Okay, this is okay. This okay. There, Kevin. Hello, Kevin. Okay, great. So you can do whichever pose you want to do, if it's a professional one or whichever you want to do. So I'll count to 10. No, not to 10. Sorry, to 3. All right. In 1, 2, 3.
Yo, peace.
Great. I think I've taken a bunch. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Great. So do have a great rest of the day. You can leave at your own pleasure, and I think we can talk more on the WhatsApp group as such. Yeah. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.